Never heard of them. I mean, there's a sample on Sports Talk Radio where they talk about coaches and stuff like that, and you just hear somebody in the background. They'll be talking about a coach. All of a sudden, they'll just hear something go, "Never heard of them." All right, this time. Yeah. Okay, but hey, let me do this intro real quick. What's up, everybody? It is Craig Harris, the anointed Pope of Xbox, and I am joined. It is Monday, the 9th. My goodness! And in 3 hours East Coast time, you can go pick up Shadow of War. Am I saying that right? And
yes.
You can go pick that up tonight if you all have pre-ordered, or is it digital or the physical copy like I used to do? That's because I'm an old hat. But if not, welcome everybody from East Coast to left coast. We're spanning the globe today. We're spanning the U.S., I should say, because I'm here in the Eastern time zone. I got the newly anointed Cardinal of Xbox, GT Kratos here. You know, can give us a blow-by-blow on this GT Sport game, because I went from canceling my pre-order, which nobody got on me for that. Everybody left the Pope alone until I canceled that Cuphead pre-order. Then they came after yours truly. You know, it's okay for me to cancel GT because I don't care for the online stuff. But yeah, we'll get into that. Then we have joining us from the West Coast. We have I believe it's Savage Uger. I think you were on California time, right? Western time out there.
Yeah. I live in Southern California.
All right, so it's rush hour out there where you are, correct? About 5? Am I saying? Yeah, if I got the time right.
Yeah, I just got home actually.
Yeah, they got wildfires out there right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now you're talking. The Southern Cal. That's where NWA is from. That's Savage Uger bringing in the streets, the real gaming streets. So, what is going on? So, as you can see, we have a myriad of topics today. But let's shout out our guest here. First things first, joining us, the aforementioned Uger. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little about your gaming habits and how long you've been hitting the sticks off and on.
Yeah, Savage Uger. Name got from my little brother when he was drunk, but that's where the name came from. So a lot of people always get on me about the name. I just knocked over my bottles. But anyways, right now lately I've been replaying Attack on Titan. And
okay.
Yeah. That's about it. I have tried the GT Sport demo though, even though I'm not.
I'm gonna definitely talk to you all about that tonight. I'm not a demo man, as you can tell. I either just buy or don't buy. So I'm definitely want to talk to both of you all about that and plus and minuses on the game. And so of course we're joined here by the newly anointed Cardinal who's accepted the ascendantship, you know, from the Pope of Xbox here. But GT Kratos. You know, he's ascended to now. Brother, go ahead and shout yourself out, man.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy, Kratos GT, the Cardinal of Xbox and everything PlayStation. I have accepted my calling. I've been anointed by the pontiff himself. And Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Yes. It's time for the pontiff to pontificate on tonight's show. Joined by these two gentlemen here, taking time out of their day, and everything's been going on. I hope everything's going on for good. Again, everybody give Savage a congratulations. He's now Uncle Savage, so everything's going good there. So congrats. But let's get into it. One subject that I need to know about, because I'm an old man, you know. I need to know about something called a loot crate, because it's burning up the internet, whether it's going to be on Star Wars Battlefront 2, whether it's going to be aforementioned Shadow of War, and there's a couple, Call of Duty may have a few they're talking about now. So Savage, I'll start with you, brother. What, as far as you know, what can you tell me? What exactly is a loot crate? It sounds stupid to me. What is it?
Loot crates is for online, or actually I think they're doing it for single player for Shadow of War and stuff. It's basically just a crate that you buy with either in-game currency or actual money, and you get a randomized items in-game. Now, it can be things from like clothing or accessories or whatever, or weapons, or abilities and perks and stuff.
Now you're saying random. So if all right, so I'm paying for the game. Let's say I pay whatever, $59, whatever I pay, whatever. Then you're saying I throw in some more money for a chance to win, or I just can't arbitrarily purchase the crate. I'm just taking a guess. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
No, it's random. They a lot of times they randomize it because they don't want you to just, even though some people call it pay to win or pay to play or something like that. However you want to put it. It's a random crate. It has a bunch of accessories, weapons, maybe skins or something special in it. The whole thing about it is it's random. You don't know what you're gonna get. You could get the biggest weapon in the game, or you can get a freaking hat. Something simple. You just don't know. And so that's kind of like the drive of it. So a lot of people spend a lot of money going through crate after crate after crate to try to find that ultimate prize.
They'll have different tiers too.
Yeah.
Of crates, like a cheap one that you get a chance of getting anything, and then higher ones up that you get chances of rarer stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to Ryan Landis in the comment section. He got it right. It's basically a gamble to win. And basically, since it's random, you just don't know what you're gonna get. But the goal is to get the good stuff so you can win.
Okay, but all right, now because I like doing I'm not against DLC or anything like that. If it's going to, let's just take the Witcher with the Blood and Wine, the two big expansions they had. That's DLC. Now I'm just for everybody. I am for things like that are going to enhance this story of what you're playing, the backlog, things like that. I bought all the skins for Mass Effect, all the DLC, minus Pinnacle Station, because that sounded like trash. That was just like a horde mode for Mass Effect. But so it's different than that. You're saying that I gotta spend more money and then hope that I get something good.
Yes. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, Craig.
Okay.
Sometimes it's in-game currency, sometimes it's physical currency. So let's say I'm playing Overwatch and I played 25 matches. Well, now I've gotten my in-game currency up through my wins and special abilities and stuff like that. I can spend that on loot crates. But if I don't want to grind and get my in-game currency up, I can spend my actual money to buy, in-game currency or to buy bigger and better loot crate. So yeah, you can start off with a game and you can spend $500 and try to get, all the biggest, baddest stuff and start out at the top tier. So that's why a lot of people say it's pretty much like a pay to win.
Okay, but like when I was playing The Witcher, again, that's one of my favorite RPGs. You would find stuff, and then you remember you had to find it and put it together. Like you had to go find this to make this, or you had to get this part for this sword. That's part of the game.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? It's an RPG. That's why it's called role playing, So you're basically saying if I paid for it, if I did a loot crate, it may just pop up randomly in the loot crate.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. Okay, so since you're using an RPG as that example, let's say you're playing The Witcher 3, and instead of going out finding all these different parts all over the map, what if you just bought the sword that you wanted? What if you and they say, hey, look, this is going to be $10 for this sword. Instead of you going all out and getting it in game, you can just pay your money and get it.
Well, for one, I wouldn't do that. I guess I can't knock somebody for wanting to do that, but that takes away from you going to certain parts of the game and seeing the world to interact in the world. If you're just going to get everything, they can just, but I understand what you're saying. What if you got a sword and your character wasn't strong enough to carry it, or a gun or something like that? You got to be level this to do
that happens all the time, Craig. That's the chance that you take. And most people who get into this, they know what they're getting into. It. They know what they're doing. It's just like gambling. You know, once you spend your money, you know there's a chance that you may end up with nothing.
That's trash.
Yeah.
Savage, you got anything to add on these horrible microtransactions? I mean, first of all, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I don't understand why people don't buy the game and then just go play the damn game. What if you find something that's just as good, if not better?
Here's the thing. I'm going to put in this term. I like WWE 2K, the game. When I buy the game, yes, I can play it. I can beat the different storylines, so it'll unlock characters. But a lot of times, my favorite wrestlers are locked up in the beginning. And guess what? I want to play as my favorite character in the beginning. So what I'll do is spend $3.99 or $4.99 to get the unlockable characters unlocked from the beginning. Right. So I didn't have to wait, a week or two or however long it was going to take me to grind out to get my character that I wanted. I think that's fine and that's okay, because having those characters don't give me any advantage over any other guy that I wrestle against online. As long as it's done in that fashion, I'm okay with it. But here's the problem. Let's say, we're playing a game where, I'm trying to find a game because wrestling probably would equate to it. But let's use wrestling. Since I'm on it. Let's say I unlock these characters, right? And all these characters that I paid money for, they are much stronger than the other characters in the game that everybody else start off. So I start off beating everybody because all these characters that I paid money for are 1,000 times stronger. So I automatically start. That is wrong because it's pay to play. So that's more incentive for people who already spent $60. They feel like they have to go and spend money just to be on equal footing. And this is what happens in a lot of the shooters. Guys, rookies, they'll just start off on the game, spend $100, get all the weapons, everything, and then they'll just go off and get all these crazy high KD ratios, and they start off on top, but they paid to play versus the guy at the bottom. He bought the game and he has to grind for weeks and weeks and weeks just to be able to get to that level. That is what I think. That's what's wrong. That's when people complain.
But to me, the grind, that is part of the game.
Facts. You see what I'm saying? That exactly. It's just like Destiny. Part of Destiny, part of the games like the Division, the shooters and RPGs, part of that is the experience is to go through the grinding and to go through the hard work so you can get the top of the line weapons and so you can get additional stages and missions and stuff like that. But a lot of people, Craig, are lazy, or a lot of people, they just want to start off. They don't want to diminish their record. They don't want any debts. They want all the kills and none of the debts. And that's the problem. If you have a game that basically says, hey, look, if you pay me all this money here, I'll give you all this stuff and you can go and beat everybody up. Well, that makes it unbalanced for the regular people who spend, $60. Who wants to spend $60 and stay at the bottom of the pile forever because everybody else went and spent money and they're just dominating?
It sounds like, do you think, all right, so will I see a loot crate in, I don't know, I'm about Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now I'm going to just play the campaign because I want to see what happened between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So that's what that story is, so, and but if they start dropping something called a loot crate during the campaign, I will go crazy. It's like, there ain't no way I'm going to put up with this shit. If I'm a part of Inferno Squad and I've got the tip of the spear of the First Order, I don't need no loot crate. I just need an objective.
Well, here's the thing. It's all optional. It's all optional, and I don't even mind loot crates because they come randomly. They come for free randomly. But if you can pay and get all of that stuff for a certain amount of money and it gives you advantages that everybody else don't have, that's when the problem comes in. Craig, have you ever bought a game day one, then you boot it up and you go to play it and you see some of these guys already have like level 200 and you're like, God damn, the game just came out.
Yeah, I have seen that. I always thought those were the developers that were just kind of in game, kind of watching the game being played.
Now, a lot of times, it's multiple things. Guys get the games early, but also they've spent money to level up real quickly. So all the peons come in and they just get mopped. And that's literally that's frustrating. And, I think that's
bad, man.
Yeah, But the loot crates, part of the deal is this is why they randomize it. So you never know what you're going to get. You could be a rookie, start the game, get a badass loot crate, and have the best weapon, and you're good to go. I mean, that's enjoyment. But this guy that spent his money and he's getting crappy crates and crappy stuff like hats and fake and glasses and stuff like that. Nobody cares about that.
Wow, that's baloney. Savage, what do you got to say about this? This sounds like some millennial mumbo jumbo to me. I mean, god damn, it's like they're lazy now. They're creating ways to just cheat during games, So come out here and get your ass whooped. Right, go ahead, brother.
Exactly.
To be honest, I'm kind of or I should say more or less was, because when Mass Effect 3 came out, the multiplayer, I don't know how many loot crates I actually spent money on. I think probably spent like $150 on the loot crates there.
Now, what were those loot crates? What were those?
To get characters and weapons. But I think that was the last time I actually ever. Yeah, that was, I think, actually the only time and last time I ever used loot crate microtransactions.
Well, all the stuff that you all got doing that, it was in the game.
Yeah,
but you had to explore the game. Oh, okay, yeah, because they did say that it was called Galaxy at War, and the longer you played in the Galaxy of War, you could push back. And I mean, no matter what, the Reapers were winning. All you could do was really slow them down. But I saw that. I'm like, well, what's the point of this if I can go through the whole game and find the exact same stuff? So yeah. It was a grind. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think I was 60 hours in that Mass Effect 3. Each time I played it, I think I was able to cut it down one time to 52 hours and still got the good ending because I went to war like that in that game. Yeah, that was balls to the wall, this grind, But damn. All right, well
I missed that Mass Effect.
I do too, but see that's
the Mass Effect we got this year was not Mass Effect.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me started on that. Like I said, I was hurt, when there were things about it I did like. Let me keep it 100% here. They did go in and fix some stuff, but that story, the story did not hook me like that first Mass Effect. Not even Mass Effect 2 and 3, but this the first Mass Effect. But Mass Effect 3 was the first time they had day one DLC. EA did that shit. That's why all the people from BioWare left because they ripped that Prothean DLC. That wasn't even DLC. That was part of the game. And they made us pay like an extra $9.
Oh yeah, the Arrival DLC. Is that what?
No, not Arrival. That was in Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 3, the Prothean, the actual Prothean that you.
Oh yeah.
That was part of the original source code, and EA went in and cut that out and said, "No, you're going to pay an extra $10 for this." That's where the infamous Day One DLC came. That's where that comes from. Is that game, Mass Effect 3? But I bought it, of course. I mean, of course, I was going to buy it. What am I, an idiot? But that was still.
I got the collector's edition. I got it definitely. So
yeah, I was mad as hell. But let's move on to Pub Night. It's now apparently because I've been away, I've been at work and all that stuff. So apparently, it's Microsoft and Sony in some type of war over this game. I assume it's coming to both platforms, but I've heard that Microsoft's trying to hide it. Now, do we think this is an aforementioned hypocritical statement from Microsoft when Phil Spencer said, "I don't want these type of time games," Do we smell a little hypocrisy here? Kratos, what do you think about it?
Of course. I mean, come on now. Here's the thing. Microsoft execs have backtracked more than Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. I mean, these guys come out, they say one thing, and next week they're reversing course. So I don't I don't take anything that these guys say literally. They are a big hypocrisy. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to put their game only on the Xbox because they won't make any money. Those guys have proven not to buy their own exclusives, let alone a third-party game. So for anyone who thought a huge game like PubG that has just, nobody knew that this game was going to blow up. Matter of fact, it's still in beta. This is a early access game. So for you to think that this was just going to be on the Xbox and the PC, come on. These guys aren't crazy. They want access to the almost, by the end of the year, it's going to be close to 80 million install base. I mean, come on. That's their bread and butter right there. Just the PlayStation fans being able to have access to that. Even if they were able to get 10 million from the PlayStation install base, that's still more than they would have had. So yeah, it's coming to PlayStation. Phil Spencer's trying to buy some time. Craig, just well as I know, Microsoft will come out, make something look like it's exclusive and like they willed and dealed, and then the next day it's coming, right on time. I think PUBG will, maybe a month or two later, will be on the PlayStation. I don't even think it's going to be a year long wait. And I'm going to say a year long wait is because this is a online focused game. You can't delay an online game, because once that time is over, once PUBG is done and everybody's done with it, nobody's going to revisit that game anymore. It's not like Tomb Raider where it's a single player game, single player experience. You can always play that game and experience it. A multiplayer game, an online game like that, it thrives on the community and the people. And I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be hot for another 3 to 4 months, and then it's going to die off. You got other shooters and stuff like that, like Fortnite. You got Overwatch. You got a lot of stuff like that. So it's hot while it's hot, but these type of games are a dime a dozen. They come, they go. I think honestly, I'm just my honest prediction. I think this game is going to come out maybe a month, maybe 30 days after the Xbox version.
Damn. Because that's all I've been hearing about it, and because people try to make fun of me, I didn't know what a PUBG was. Like, it looks sort of like Ghost Recon, and they just had a mode put in. Was it Friday night? A free update. You can just just run around and shoot. I'm like, all right, well, this is what we were doing in 1996 with Rainbow Six, but we were connecting out at like 28.8. None of this. Exactly. I'm talking about way back before you guys in the chat were born. Yeah. Back when the pixel was a true pixel, was a block. It wasn't even round. So Sandwich, what do you think about this this Fortnite and PUBG thing going down? It looks like Fortnite kind of has them think that with Microsoft literally trying to extend based on the reports, if the reports are true. The reports are true, them trying to extend. Do you think this smells like a little hypocrisy, since Phil Spencer and friends have said they don't want to keep people away from stuff?
Yeah, I do think it's a bit. It is, as he's stated before, that he thinks that timed exclusivity is bad for the industry, and now they're trying to push make PUBG more exclusive now. So yeah, I do really think it is. He's being a hypocrite there, pretty much.
All right, ouch.
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's move into some new games here. Then we'll get to the juicy stuff here. Let's start in reverse order. What are we buying this month? Because I'm gonna be PO, can't afford the OR. What games we're buying? I'll start off. Assassin's Creed. That's day one. Getting that on the Pro. I'm going to stream Hellblade, hopefully, God willing, in a couple weeks here. Shout out to Andrew Wilkins for that. I will try to defeat it without, I'm puzzles and all. I'm going to try to do the whole game. Then I'm gonna try this I don't know about Evil Within 2, and I'm moving back towards Gran Turismo based on the early reviews with it. And so those are the three I'm definitely getting. Kratos, what about you? You're a jack of all trades. So where you gonna drop MasterCard at this month?
Oh man, obviously GT Sport, which I already have. I have like 3 different versions of that game. I got the collector's edition that I bought via Amazon from the UK because only the UK got that special version. So I have that. I have I think it's a legendary edition or something like that I bought digitally on the PlayStation. And obviously I'm going to get a physical copy, which I may gift to one of these YouTubers, one of these guys in the comment section. So we'll see on that. But Assassin's Creed, that's definitely a day one buy for me. Now here's the thing, Craig. Since that game isn't a multiplayer type game, I just may pick that up when I get my X, because I have to play someone at X, man. I have to do something. I mean, the S has been collecting dust for all this year, and obviously I bought the Scorpio edition of the X. I got to do something with it, so I think I'm gonna. I'm not just forcing myself, but it's like I just kind of have to. I have to do something to play on this thing, and I guess I'll probably get Assassin's Creed on it.
So that'd be, is that like November 4th or something like that for Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, so something like that. Either the very end of this month or early next month. I can't remember, but yeah, I think I'm gonna just pick that up.
Wow.
Yeah, those would be my 2. This Shadow of War, I love the first one, the Shadow of Mordor. I do love it. Yeah. But from what I'm seeing graphically and everything else, it looks the same. It doesn't look ahead of the original one. Of course, for those of you that have the PlayStation 4 Pro, you're playing it in 4K. And I believe 4K HDR on the Pro itself. So
that's tonight at midnight. So you don't have to wait.
There you go.
Oh boy, and here we go again.
Again, who is going to wait a month? Who's going to deny themselves a game and wait a whole month to play it on a different platform when you can play it tonight at midnight in the same fidelity and the same quality? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but. Yeah.
All right, Savage, what are you going to be? I mean, Savage, besides babysitting, what are you going to be doing playing on this month? Do you plan on picking up anything new? It's we got the Evil Within 2, so I guess they didn't cure the evil within 1. It's back. And, Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed, Gran Turismo. Is there all 4? Maybe just 1? What do you think you're gravitating to?
I'm gonna get Shadow of War and Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
But I think that's about it for this month. Yeah.
Now, Assassin's Creed is supposed to have something called a loot crate in it, but to me, if you're an assassin, you only need 1 weapon. I mean, I think with Assassin's Creed, I know with the last one they just did. If all you use was 1 weapon for the whole each time you were assassinating with each character, you got like a special award or unlock or something like that, toward some type of whatever that thing's called, trophy. Yeah, if you chase trophies, So I can't blame. So the Evil Within is is 0 for 3. I mean, I just don't, and that comes out Friday the 13th. That comes out Friday.
I tried Evil Within 1 and I just couldn't get into it. I don't think it's a bad game. It's just I just didn't get into it, so I never finished it though, of course, so I can't really judge the game. But I just never got into it.
What is Wolfenstein coming out? Is that this month too, or is that next month?
That's next. That's
I think it's the next month. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm buying that too. I've told people I played Wolfenstein since Commodore 64. when it was called Enter Castle Wolf. I think that's what it was called. The game was in German. I mean, it was in German. Like the guards talked German and everything, like true, authentic German. So it's cool. It was a cool game. That was back in the day. That was 1985, people. So 1985. So speaking about Michael Jackson, he was like Michael Jackson and Prince battling in the top 10, all the time.
Exactly. The greatest. So, those are the greatest.
Yeah, greatest of the greatest. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed. It's like that game that came out of the Hitman game, and it was like okay. They were like, well, you can do this, and it had weapons and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm a hitman. I need one weapon. That's it. Just give me one weapon, give me my target, and I will find. It's my job at that point to infiltrate, not get caught, and assassinate the target. So that's all I need. So that's how I always play Hitman. I use that fiber wire. Love the fiber wire. So it's up close and personal when you're taking out your target. So, but all right, well, this sounds like we're going to be some busy beavers this month. I know it sounds like I will be. So. This Hellblade is just that's going to be fun. I'll be waiting on that. All right, so let's go to this GT Sport. Kratos, you have played the demo, and in all its glory, you've got all. I mean, you've demoed it. Not demo, but you've done the demo. You've played on the Forza a little bit and Project Cars. First of all, does the demo include is that unlocked or is it just a basic demo?
No, it's actually a full game, and they will only allow you to carry over up to I think $1 million and a certain number of cars and so much progress. Obviously they don't want you to, in 4 days, because there's some guys that don't work and don't do anything else but play games, but basically they don't want you to beat the game and maximize it within 4 days.
Okay, so best. All right, so you two both have the demo. So so just best. What do you guys think about it? Is GT back? Is this what we've had before? Are there major differences in this and Project Cars and Forza 7 or Forza? How do the cars that you've been on, how do they roll and things like that, and the steering and braking, souping up the car? Just go ahead and both of you take on off with it, and I'll sit back and listen.
Go ahead, Savage. I'll go on my rant after you finish.
All right. I'll be honest though, I'm not a big racing driving fan, so I just downloaded the demo because I was curious about it because it was free. But I would have to say, personally, I played the Forza 7 demo too. Personally, though, I would say GT looks better than Forza 7, but that's just my view on it, I guess. That's really all I have to say about it.
Yeah. Well, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Buckle up.
The Cardinal, take off, brother.
The Cardinal is here. Okay, so upon booting up this masterpiece of a game, my eyes wept as tears of joy as seeing that I've waited so long. We're talking about what, 4 or 5 years for a Gran Turismo. The last Gran Turismo was GT6, and that launched right before the PS4 launch. So that was obviously a new game releasing on an old outdated platform. So instead of playing that game, instead of grinding it out and playing it, enjoying it, I am one of these people where once you tell me a new console is about to come out, I box up the current console that I have, I throw it in the closet. I don't want to see another game until I have the latest and greatest. That's just me. It's a personal thing with me. So I didn't put a lot of time into GT6 like I should have, but I was always assuming that they would make GT6 for the PS4. It just made sense. You're going to release this game right when you're finna release a new platform. I thought they were going to do what they did with GT5, but they just never did that. And they explained it. Digital Polyphony explained it, saying that they just They didn't want to take any of the old assets, any of the last generation engine, and just move that over, because that wouldn't be a proper GT game. So they scrapped all the cars, they scrapped all the data, and they went from scratch with the PS4 and all its power in mind. And that's when we ended up with the GT Sport. It is a departure in the series because obviously it's focused towards the esports crowd. It's focused towards the hardcore racing. So before you had, over 1,100, 1,200 cars in that game. Now you're starting over with 170 cars. At the end of its life, when it's said and done, GT Sport will have closer to 500 cars. And that's according to Kazunori Yamuchi. Yeah, and he said, so you're going to have a constant stream of DLC, which includes tracks and cars and stuff like that. But back to the game. Upon booting this game up, it just hit me with the graphics. I mean, my jaw dropped because when all the stuff that we saw with the beta, it really was underwhelming, especially being on YouTube. It was very underwhelming. But I remember what Digital Polyphony had said. They said, look, we're going to release this beta. It's going to be for a selective few. We really need to test the online architecture and the online capability because this game is going to be tailored towards esports. So if you're going to try to focus towards esports, you have to make sure that your online infrastructure is better. So the game that they delivered in, the beta and the alpha that they delivered in, didn't have all the bells and whistles. They didn't have all the graphical fidelities, the polish, the shine. The damage was turned off because they didn't want to, frustrate people and have their cars damaged during a live race and stuff like that. And so they explained that, but most people don't listen to that. They just see the game. This doesn't look good. Yada, yada. Well, once they released this game and I downloaded it, my jaw dropped. I mean, this game looks beautiful, especially in HDR. In 4K. I mean, I don't think anyone can doubt that. And this shows why these guys are the masters of racing simulation. This is why this franchise has sold over 80 million copies. This is Sony's #1 selling franchise in its stable. So it's a racer. So this says a lot about Digital Polyphony in Sony and how they dedicate it. A lot of people are like, I think Forza's their days are numbered. Forza took over, and it's like, well, listen, Forza comes out every year, whether you get a Horizon or whether you get a Motorsport, it's still Forza.
Yeah,
you have to take some time off, which I'm glad Ubisoft did with Assassin's Creed. They took some time off because people got burnt out of the same thing. They just changed the skins. So you take some years off, you perfect that game, you change the engine, you do a lot of stuff, and now we can come with a proper Assassin's Creed. Well, GT is no different. They've never given you an annual or a biannual racing game. It's always been 1 or 2 games per generation. That has always been the case ever since Gran Turismo 1.
Yeah.
So,
well, the Assassin's Creed movie came out last year, and that was trash. I walked out of that movie theater at midnight, like, what the hell did I just watch?
yeah. Yep.
But
it's
I agree. But go ahead about the game. Go ahead about the game again.
Graphically, the first thing that's going to take you is, it's just the shine, the polish, and the photorealistic look of the graphics and the lighting. It's just something that they put extra care in this game, making sure that you feel the colors, the whether it's matte, flat matte paint, whether it's glossy paint, whether it's whatever. You can change the liveries on it, so you can put your own custom livery if you want to. Now, granted, Forza's been doing that forever, and Forza has the reason Forza got its notoriety because it was one of the first games that allowed you to put body kits, change the bumpers, the skirts, the wings. I mean, you can do whatever you wanted to a car with the Forza franchise. In Gran Turismo, you kind of got what you got. And so that's how Forza became, that's how it became what it is. And that really just helped guys create clubs and stuff like that. And Forza is a good game. It's a great series, but it is a arcade racer with simulation aspects.
Yeah, that is true.
It is not a racing sim, guys. So it's not in the same category. Sure, you got the Forza Horizon, which is full blown arcade. There's nothing simulation about it, and that is a great game. That's the best game. That's one of the best arcade racers out there. That's up there with Burnout Paradise. That's up there with the best Need for Speeds, like the Hot Pursuit and stuff like that. I give it credit for that. It should always stay up there. It's up there with MotorStorm. I mean, remember that game back in the day? That was another great one. But when you're looking at the motorsport version of it, the Forza Motorsport was designed to race with a controller. Gran Turismo, why obviously it has controller support. It's really, in order to get the feel and the best out of this game, you have to get you a racing wheel and pedals. That's just, I hate to say it, but if you race against me with a controller, there's nothing you can do. You're gonna get dogged. But this game, again, it's to compete against the Project Cars, the Assetto Corsas, and the iRacing on PC. It's a full-blown sim. They have a pit crew. So yes, you have animated pits, unlike Forza 7.
Yeah, now shout out to you all yesterday on the gaming couch. What exactly happened with the crew? I mean, I guess if you're gonna be charging and say you're the top game, when I go to pit, I want to see the person wiping off the windshield, and you get the gas, and your car gets the drops or pops up, so they can change different tires and stuff like that. So what happened with?
Here's the thing, okay. Do you know all those screenshots and all of that CG footage that they basically showed at E3? And when they show off Forza, they show you the CG stuff, the in-game CG. They don't show you the actual game. Once you take control of the car, then you see the downgrade. Then you see the actual what this game is about. And it's just like Forza 6 and it's just like Forza 5. That's just, it is what it is. But people say, it looks pretty in the trailer and it looks this and that. Well, those, again, they're selling you a product. They're selling you something saying, yeah, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like that. Now, I'm not saying that the game looks ugly. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it looks nothing like the cutscenes that they show you with the raindrops and all that stuff. It's not. It does not. Now, you boot up Gran Turismo and you take one trip around, one lap around the track, and you will see everything from, again, I play in HDR. So I like racing not at night, but right at that dusk time. I'm sorry. Yeah. At either the dusk or the dawn when the sun is coming up or the sun is setting. So when you go around the corner and that you see that sun, it makes you squint because it's like in real life. That's how that sun and the colors and just, man, it's just something about it's photorealistic. It's just realistic. And the control of the game is, obviously Gran Turismo, the controls have always been second to none. It took me some getting used to because I'm so used to playing with Assetto Corsa and Project Cars. Every simulation racing game have its own engine, its own controls, its own, tire physics, its own chassis physics and stuff like that. And so it takes a while to get used to, especially when you go in between games. But this game here is just so beautiful. The sounds. I am really glad that they poached the Turn 10 audio engineers. Yes. They stole engineers from the Forza franchise. Because they just didn't have the talent over at Polyphony Digital when it comes to the sound. So they basically took some cars and they replicated some of the audio across the cars in the past, and that's why people didn't really like that. But now they have fixed that problem. Every car sounds unique, and as an owner of some of these cars in the game, it's spot on, man. It is spot on. So I'm glad
I would actually define it. Like Forza 7, from what I've seen, looks like a really good video game racer.
Yes.
but that's what it looks like. It looks like a video game. While GT, to be honest, it looks like it's emulating a real life race.
Yes.
It looks like real life to me. That's the way I see it.
Where does Project, not to interrupt you there, Savage, where does Project Cars kind of feel? Is it kind of right in the middle? Is it kind of like, all right, it does things a little bit better on some aspects in GT Sport, but not everything? And then the same with Forza? I mean, is it kind of right in the middle?
No. Project Cars and Assetto Corsa, they are full-blown racing simulators. Even and I'll even go as far to say even more so than Gran Turismo. And I'm going to tell you why. They don't give you any fancy package. They're not going to give you a mode to take pictures. They're not going to give you a mode to do all this fancy stuff. They're saying our job is to put you inside of a race car, and your job is to race for the prize. That's it. There is no fluff. There is no special anything. Their job is to put you in the cockpit of a car and make you feel like you are racing inside that car and you're racing for the trophy. And that's what it does. That's exactly what it's. There is no qualms about it. That's what they tailor their game to. That's what they focus on. They don't care about rewind buttons. They don't care about giving you all this fancy smancy stuff and and all that stuff. They're not going to give you that. They're just going to give you full-blown racing simulation. Now, if you are a casual racer, if you like Need for Speed and Forza Horizon, these are not the games for you. Do not buy Assetto Corsa. Do not buy Project Cars 2 because you're going to be disappointed. You're going to get your butt handed to you. A lot like with iRacing. I race on iRacing, Assetto Corsa, and Project Cars as well. Yeah. A lot of professional racers use these titles to learn the tracks. So they actually, when you're racing online sometime, you will be racing against professional race car drivers. That's what it's designed for. So they know all the pit commands, they know all the tire configuration, all the suspension settings and stuff like that. If you just grab a car and drive it around the track, you are going to lose. You have to set up your car to fit that specific track. That's what a simulation racer is.
Facts.
And so that's where Project Cars and Assetto Corsa fit in it. They are the mainstream diehard racing games. There is no fluff. There's no pictures. There is none of the other stuff, these additive modes on there. You race online, you race single player, you do qualifications, and you do trial. That's it.
Yeah. I'm now see, because I had ordered, and I want to ask both you all this question. All right, because I had pre-ordered GT set or Gran Turismo Sport.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, all right, word comes out from the company. It's not going to have a big campaign. It was going to be mostly online. So I'm like, well, I'm not huge on online, just getting online to play. Mm-hmm. I'll hold off to maybe they'll, like you were just saying, how they're going to add more stuff down the line. Mm-hmm. So I cancel that game. I'm like, I put that on Twitter. I'm like, I'm gonna cancel that. I'll get something else, because I was like, Hellblade, Assassin's Creed, all that stuff. I already have Hellblade, but I just have not activated it yet. I've just been so busy doing other stuff. But why is it when I did the exact same thing with Cuphead, and when a friend of mine brought over she called me and said, you got to play Life is Strange. I'm like, you know what? And shout out to One Stop for Gamers, because he said Life is Strange it came out in 2015. He said it was his game of the year. And I'm kind of like, okay, in 2015, Rise of the Tomb Raider came out, and so did oh man, it just slipped from my mind. He had Rise of the Tomb Raider, he had Fallout came out, and
Witcher 3.
Yeah, Witcher 3. Now all these games, and then Life is Strange is there. So I'm like, how is this game? This opinion. But I played the first one on the Xbox because it was free. The first episode is free. I played that game and I was hooked. I mean, I was hooked in 10 minutes, like a crackhead. I'm like, okay, there ain't no way I'm going to be playing. I want to, this episodic. You can get all the episodes. I think it was like $14.99. It was something like that on the Xbox. It was they were having a sale. I'm like, Cuphead's going back. This guy, the Cuphead couldn't give me a refund. I can't play this while I know this type of game is here, and it's begging me to play this game.
Yeah.
And again, I said before, if you can get past how pacey girls are, I mean, how thin and bony these white girls are, if you get past that, it's a fun game. Let me just say that for everybody. It's a fun game. Okay? But anyway, the Pope of Xbox gets, they're trying to excommunicate me over to the east side of the river. You know, I got people on the attack online talking about how can I just, so let me ask you, why is it a big deal when I did that with Cuphead? I did the exact same thing to Cuphead that I did with GT Sport. What's the difference? Both, I mean, I'm going to get both eventually, and I'm going to go back to Cuphead after Assassin's Creed and Star Wars Battlefront. And, you know, Cuphead is a next year game. That's a winter game. It gets cold up here. I'm up north. That'd be something, because all I was doing was running around and jumping and shooting blue darts. That was fun. Life is Strange, there's a murder mystery that I'm on. And you can rewind time. So I got sci-fi, I've got a murder mystery, and what else can I ask for? You know, so you know, and it's episodic, and I hate episodic content in games. So, and I'm liking this game. So So what do you Savage? I'll start with you. What do you think's happening to the Xbox community online? As the Pope of Xbox, I'm coming to you for what do you think's going on?
I do know.
Savage, I'll start with you. What?
I'm not sure, dude. I really don't know.
Just best guess. Best guess.
I have no idea, because as far as I can tell, they really don't get their own games anyways.
Facts. Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, we got grown-ass men online talking about Lara Croft's hair. Okay, I mean, what kind of man talks about a woman's hair? I mean, I'm serious now. I mean, this is some suspect stuff. You know, and you know. So, Kratos, what do you think, bro? I mean, what, you know, as the newly anointed cardinal, you've been online. You know, you've been observing the, you know, our community. You know, what do you think's going on with them?
I'm going to tell you what's going on with them. Okay, for one, you know, it's almost kind of sad, because at the end of the day, they don't have a ground to stand on. You know, here's the thing about it. When you get online and say, hey, I'm going to cancel GT Sport, you know, I'll eventually pick it up next year, the PlayStation guys know and they understand you, because there's just so many games and exclusives that you have. There's every PlayStation owner has a huge backlog this year. It doesn't matter who you are, you have a huge backlog. So we understand the struggle. We understand that struggle. But as an Xbox guy, you have no games this year. So it's like, geez, we have no games this year, and you're canceling one of the only games that are coming out this year. That makes no sense. I'm frustrated. I'm mad. Now I'm finna go on an attack. How dare you cancel the only game you're getting this year? That's the perspective they have.
I mean, when you put it like that, I mean, I guess because they haven't had a lot of stuff come out this year.
They haven't.
I guess Halo Wars. I mean, that was it.
And if you are a Xbox guy, an Xbox only player, you can't deny it. And I'm going to tell you why you can't deny it, because you didn't even go out and support Forza 7. One of the biggest game this year on the Xbox platform. One of the big three, one of the big Trinity, Halo, Gears, and Forza. You didn't even support that game. That game sold like hot garbage. So how can you yell at somebody else for canceling the game when you didn't even support the game? You don't even support your games. You have no grounds to stand on. And Craig, you know, I've been on your podcast plenty of times begging the Xbox guys to buy their games, because we do not want to see an industry without the Xbox. Have I not begged them on multiple podcasts of yours to please go out and buy the X? Please go out and buy these games so we can have sequels, so we can have more. And these guys didn't even go out and buy the biggest game of the year for their platform. That speaks volumes. And you can't blame Phil Spencer for that. You can't blame Don Matrix for that. You can't blame any of the execs for that. You can only blame yourself.
Well, let's and now how much did Forza sell? Now it's got its whole life to sell. That's what I keep telling people. Look, you can go buy Forza 6 right now if you want to, so or Forza 4 even in some places. But
it's so, Craig, it's sold less than 30,000 copies in the UK. And we all know that for racers, the UK is the #1 motorsport capital of the world. 90% of all racing comes from Europe, from the UK area. We do over here in the United States, we do have, NASCAR, but we have NASCAR and Grand Prix, but that is so small. That's less than 1% of the population. And, that's only in the South.
Yeah. And Grand Prix, 95% of that is overseas.
Exactly. That's most of that is South America and Europe too. So, MotoGP, we have we got one track, the Circuit of the Americas track here, in Texas, here in Austin, Texas. That's it. So, for all you guys waiting for this big heap of Forza sales to come in, it's just not coming. If the main guys who buy racers haven't bought the game, it's just not coming in. And don't give me that excuse. Oh, people are just waiting for the X. You come on now. You've been saying that for the last 4 years. People waiting for the S, and then people waiting for the X.
But is that total sales though? Does that include digital sales?
You know what? And that's another argument. Now, going back, I don't know if you remember, Craig, but people start saying that about 2 years ago. Oh, the reason the Xbox sales for software is so low is because most people are buying digital. And here it is, 2017, and they're using that same excuse. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it, guys. We can't keep flip-flopping on these matrix. How do you guys want to benchmark this? Do you want to do digital? Do you want to do physical? Because right now you're not winning any NPDs. So now, everybody's buying digital and they don't count. It's like, come on, stop it. Then you started saying, most people buy, the bulk of the people buy from Walmart, and Walmart is not on NPD, so it don't count. It's like, let's stop it. Stop it.
People actually said that?
Yeah, that was an Xbox argument. Shout out to Zaire for saying that. Next Gen 17.
Oh, okay.
I'm just repeating what these guys have said. I'm not making this stuff up.
Well, that's horse hockey. As Pope, I can't condone that message. I mean, everybody reports it in NPD.
Well, let me ask you this then. If shout out to Almighty Spartan Guard in the comment section. If people are waiting on the X, okay, let's say they're waiting on the X. How many people do you think are really going to buy the X at $500 in this day and time with no games? I mean, literally, do you think you're going to get 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million sales this year? There can't be that many people sitting around waiting to spend $500 for the same games that they've been playing for the last 4 years. There's no new games coming out, guys. There is no new games that's exclusive to the platform. So what are you waiting on? You can buy it for the S and been playing it and been beat the game. Why? I mean, is resolution really what kept you from enjoying games all these years? So you mean to tell me Rise, Son of Rome, is going to get is going to get a sequel because all these people are going to go out and buy this game again that they didn't buy the first time just because it's on the X? Seriously, is that going to happen? Nah, it's not. So let's stop it.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't understand why they. Well, I can tell everybody now. If you want an Xbox X, if you have an Xbox One S, the 1 TB, GameStop will give you a $200 in-store credit towards the X only. Okay, not towards nothing else. Okay, or they'll give you $92 cash. That's what's on their website. Or if you're a pro member, $115 cash. So just pick your weapon. However you want to put it. So, yeah, I never understood, and I know what people are going to say. Well, the Xbox or PlayStation didn't have a game come out either. And I keep on saying no. When the Pro came out, roughly a week or two later, Rise of the Tomb Raider came out. I think, or shortly after that, Rise of the Tomb Raider came out. So they had some games coming. They had patches and things like that. Now you can argue whether the patches were good, bad, or Deus Ex, I think, whatever it's called, got a patch. Maybe a couple other things did. But you were buying the Pro. I would buy the Xbox X hoping that they were Microsoft was going to announce more games at E3. I already knew Sony was going to have games. So you just know that they're going to have games. But understand why, I canceled my pre-order because they said those dudes were saying that, they were going to have all these games. They were going to look and run better. I'm like, you ain't even got no bills for the games. Nothing. So don't tell me that you got the best build. So, and somebody's saying now does Forza 7 have loot crates in it too? Somebody just direct message me that.
It does.
You have loot crates in Forza 7. It's a racing game.
Well, it has all the microtransactions and all that stuff like that. Well, this is what happened, Craig. They got shamed for doing it. And I think the fans spoke in, they shamed them, and then they supposedly removed it.
Oh, okay. So they did remove it. Well, I guess that's one good thing. Oh my God.
Yep.
So Forza 7 is not doing well now. Now you have to assume. Well, come on, they got to put up better numbers than 30,000. That's all I can say. That's not good. I don't care who anybody is. That's not good. That's not good. Let's just keep it a buck. So, anybody else got anything to add? Savage, you want to add something?
No.
Okay. Oh my goodness gracious, this is horrible. All right, let's move to some good news. Let's move to some movies. Who watched the Justice League trailer?
Me.
Besides me.
No, the new one?
Yeah.
The new
one
came out.
I watched it, yeah.
All right, well, Savage, what did you think about that trailer? Are you gonna go see it no matter what now? Did it move you any, or what did you think?
It didn't get me really hyped for it, but I'm really interested, I should say, I guess.
So you're not interested? Okay.
No, I am interested. I'm just not really excited for it.
Okay. All right. So you didn't see nothing new. Okay. Well, that's fair. That's
okay. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Still excited about it, but nothing. You're gonna go see it. The trailer didn't move you either way. Okay, I got you. All right, Kratos, what did you think about it?
I'll give it a solid 80 out of 100. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It didn't go over the top where it made me say, "Woo, I can't wait to see it." It was just okay, this is interesting. They didn't go over the top. It was okay. It just kind of seemed like it was just the wrong person who produced that trailer. I think they could have made it where it fell on like a cliffhanger. Like most big epic movies, the trailer falls on a cliffhanger and it leaves you wanting more. This trailer did not do that. It just showed me multiple characters. It didn't really tell me anything about the story. The dialogue, I can tell you not one single thing they said. And so there was something to be left desired there. But I do want to give them a chance, and I do applaud their effort, and I do like some of the motion captures and the CGI stuff. The stuff looked really real. So I really like that with the characters, especially Cyborg, man. That was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I like that scene with Cyborg and Aquaman.
That was when he threw that trident, when he threw his spear.
When he caught him and he said it's not over yet.
Exactly. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. But they could have man, I don't know, man. I don't know. They could have did something a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was a good trailer. I agree with you. They cut the trailer so that they didn't give a lot of the story away. Look, a lot of action, So I'll give them credit. They show the Flash. They show the movie Flash running through the Speed Force to get to where he's going versus the TV show Flash. It just kind of boom, he's there. So, but what was you saying, Kratos? Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Well, I wanted to say that I don't know, man. I feel like if they would have gave this trailer if they would have just gave it the Michael Bay treatment, it would have been so much better,
Yeah. Yeah. Are you two worried or anything about Joss Whedon pretty much taking it over?
Nah.
It was an interesting change too in the tone, the color tone, because the first trailer was what was it? It was a bit lighter and it was a different color. What color?
It was like a bluish. It was bluish.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was bluish. I noticed that right off.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a different palette on there. Yeah, and Joss is directing this one. And for people that don't know, he directed Avengers 1 and 2. They both made $1 billion. So maybe this is the first DC movie that gets $1 billion, because believe it or not, none of them have. I mean, as far as their universe movies have. So not even Wonder Woman. So I thought Wonder Woman was really good, So but I did watch that the other day in UHD on the Xbox One S. Yes, as the Pope of Xbox, I use it as a media device. It works fine, So I endorse it as a media device as well. It does well. So, but yeah, I mean, man, does anybody have anything else to add? I mean, I know it's a crazy Monday, a crazy weekend for everybody. So,
well, let me ask you this, Craig. Are you going to download the Gran Turismo demo?
No, I've moved back into the realm of buying it more than likely. Like I said, I just buy the game. If it's like the Gran Turismos of back in the day when I remember being in the dorm and we would stay up all night, rigging the cars up and then taking them on the test tracks. If it's going to be in that kind of a mode, then I'll go ahead and look at, it'll be on the list to buy, but it's going to be after I beat Hellblade and then after Assassin's Creed, then I'll get GT Sport. I'll try to squeeze it in between there and then in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and then Wolfenstein. So it's going to be purchased. I got to get them all beat before.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you have any friends over, or anybody that comes over, and you really want to showcase your Pro or your TV or something like that, just download that demo and just let it run, man. And people will walk in and think that, you're watching real racing on TV. Is that perception is really there, man. It's a beautiful game. Even if you're not a racing fan, just do it just to see what your console is capable of.
Yeah, they said it really pushes it. It's one of the few games built ground up for the it's one of PlayStation's, like you said, it's their big franchise. This is their granddaddy, so to speak. This is the crazy uncle coming into the bar, your party, and you're gonna get God of War. I think we'll get an announcement of God of War at PSX. Kratos, I know everything that happened in Houston and things like that. Do you still plan on trying to go to PSX? Because that's, I guess, in 90 days, give or take.
Yeah, I am. Actually, I'm going to take my wife too, and so I'm going to meet up with some fellow YouTubers and stuff. I'm going to, try to meet up with Jay Barry and Tony Polanco, and I'm going to meet up with PlayStation Bra and a couple other people. A lot of guys that we're on these podcasts and we see each other and we talk to each other and stuff like that. It's going to be good getting a face with a face and actually getting to enjoy the experience and stuff. And, my wife, she's going to have the paper top, the napkins and stuff. So if they decide to show The Last of Us 2 again, I need something to dry my tears. And yeah, you know how that is.
Do you believe the rumor that came out, I guess, day before yesterday, that the person scoring the game said that they were told to be done by early 19? Do you
I can see that. I can definitely see that. That should not shock anybody. I think we already knew that this game wasn't going to be ready for 2018. They just have too many big juggernauts coming out that year. That would just be crazy. This year, 2017, they got rid of the Uncharted series. They closed that chapter. They did the DLC for it. So they kind of closed that chapter. And then next year they're going to focus on The Last of Us 2, creating it and putting it out. And I can see 2019, early 2019, that springtime, I can see them dropping that game. That, I think that's kind of Uncharted's big deal is that springtime. I think they found their niche, and that's what they're going to do. And it's going to be huge, man. But next year we got Spider-Man. You don't want to drop too many big hits in one year because you're kind of overshadowing what's the best game of the year. I mean, you can't have God of War, Spider-Man, and The Last of Us and Days Gone all dropping in the same year. And, these people are trying to say, hey, what's the best game of the year? And it's like, you got 4 big mega hits. I mean, which one is going to be the biggest of the year? You just don't know,
Yeah, Spider-Man is going to start being pushed in mid-March, right after the Black Panther movie releases.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel will, I think they're going to all go on like a vacation. Then they'll start pushing the Spider-Man video game. Then you'll start hearing stuff about Captain Marvel, Infinity War, stuff like that. That's kind of the way they're slated out, because the Inhumans movie was garbage. Trash. I mean, it was so bad. It's like they can't be saved. It's so bad. It's the Connect on Xbox. Is what that is. Yeah. So that's all I can say. It's that bad. So
let me ask you this, Craig.
Really,
which one would you like to see, an Uncharted movie or The Last of Us movie?
We pretty much have them both already. Uncharted is like watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, give or take.
True.
And there's so many zombie movies out. I'm sure they're making one.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be one out at some point. So, I mean, I think a cool idea for the best zombie movie I've seen was World War Z.
Yeah, me too. I literally watched that yesterday, Craig. I got it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I can watch that 100 times. That at least tried to make sense scientifically. It tried to make sense. So, and we're getting that game in a sense with Days Gone, because those quote unquote freakers move like the ones from World War Z. They said they modeled them after that. So
that's true. That's true.
Moving in packs and stuff like that. So, we'll have to watch. I'm watching out for it, but I mean, I guess if I had to pay money, I wouldn't mind a what was the name of that? Yeah, well, The Last of Us was real. I mean, the more I think about that, I remember playing that game saying, and when you were putting it down, I played like 3 hours with it. I'm like, man, I'm walking away like that's one of the best games I've ever played.
Exactly. That game, The Last of Us. When I first played it, it was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
it had you feeling some type of way in certain scenes, because you got to have empathy and love and compassion for the relationship that these two characters on screen have, and it's not too many games that do that. So for those those guys that say single player experiences don't really matter anymore, I think that's a big hogwash. That people only say that because they can't create those type of games. I think Zelda, Breath of the Wild, I think games like Uncharted and The Last of Us, pretty much all of Sony games are single player. I mean, look at Days Gone, look at Detroit Becomes Human, look at all these games are single player experiences that's designed to give you a playable movie. And so I think it works great for Sony and PlayStation and its fans. And I think more companies need to, get on board.
Yeah. Well, to me, Detroit Become Human is I certainly hope it does better than the Blade Runner movie. That movie bombed too. You all need to go see that movie. It's actually pretty good. But for everybody out that's listening to me now, go see Blade Runner, because it is it's not doing too good, guys. That's all I can say. It's not doing too good. Y'all gotta get off your horse and go see that movie. But it does help if you watch the original one. Again, I'm an old man. I remember going to the theater my mom dragging me to the theater. I was like 9 years old. Like, what is this? It's got Han Solo in it, so I thought it was going to be good. I'm like, this is trash, But but arguably, it's people are talking about Monster Hunter and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just too many games. That's why. Look, that's why I picked up my second joint. I have 4 straight days off, and I'm working 2 of my 4 days. That way, I can go ahead and start getting these games.
Exactly.
So yeah. What about you all? Do you all prefer a good zombie movie? Because what more can they do with the zombie movies? And you had a survival thing.
I love zombie movies, and I'm going to tell you why. I grew up with the Night of the Living Dead. I'm an old hat too, so I grew up with watching that and The Exorcist and stuff like that. I think, TV series like The Walking Dead and stuff like that has brought people back to a position where they really enjoy these type of movies because it sets up that scenario in real life. If something like this was to happen, can I survive and what will I do? And that's once that get going in your mind and you wonder, well, I'll do this or I'll do that. That sets up for excitement because you want to play a game and saying, hey, I wonder if this here happens. How could I survive? So when you're playing like The Last of Us, or, and you see the clickers or just games, obviously this has been overdone through the years, but a really good story and a really good game. I'm all on it, man. I want it. One of my most anticipated games of next year, believe it or not, Craig, is State of Decay 2. Yeah. I literally wanted to cry when that game got delayed to next year. That was my most anticipated X game that was coming out, and they pushed it to next year, and I'm like,
I'll be buying that Metro game because it's got a giant rat. I'm like, well, who don't want to shoot that? I remember playing that Fallout because Fallout 3, going down those swords, you shoot those glowing things, and then you would shoot the rat. I mean, it's kind of like, and I got so good at it, I could use that little targeting thing. Mm-hmm. I shoot that rat in its leg, and it would still try to chase me. But I'm like, hey, you got a busted leg. You can't catch me down. So trying to save ammo. But, I like it. I'm all about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got 2 questions for you, Craig.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one is a statement. I wish they would make a Fallout 4 movie. Just the storyline. I love the storyline, and I would want to see a movie implementation. Well, my question to you is, why doesn't it seem like video game to movie adoptions never work? Why do they always bomb? Why do they just epically fail? There has not been a video game to movie, conversion since the original Resident Evil. Why can't they just get it right?
Well, I thought the first Mortal Kombat did okay. Now that was on Netflix and it does not stand up. I know what you're saying. It does not stand up. Yeah. But I thought at the time, like, all right, that wasn't bad. But I mean, yeah, it's just Resident Evil. I think the one. I mean, they've done like 1,000 of
20 of them, yeah. But the first one,
the first one I thought was good, and so was the third one. But it's hard to you would think it would do well because they have built-in fan bases. But you're right. I'm thinking about like Wing Commander. That movie was garbage. Oh my god, that was trash. I'm just thinking. Now The Last of Us is a play. Or something like that. They acted out like a part of it in a play or something like that. But I do not know. I mean, that's a very good it's like the video game. The Robotech cartoon. I'm thinking that it should be a good movie, and Sony's fast tracking that. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But the video game was garbage. I mean, and Assassin's Creed, yes, there's the last one. Yeah, that was trash too. But my problem with Assassin's Creed was that you had Michael Fassbender in it. They spray painted him to be darker instead of just hiring a Spanish actor. I mean, if you're going to use it, That's what they did. I mean, it's
why, Craig?
You know,
why?
I don't know, because if you're using the animus, you can say, okay, here he is in the here he is now. But if you're going to go back, it could have been, I don't understand it. I just did not understand. I was sitting there watching like, wait a minute. Why is he spray painted? It's just, I don't get this, you know. And so the movie bombed. It's like, yeah. Then that other one, Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Trash.
Oh, garbage. Man. Yeah. Which a girl, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, the one that Kevin Durant wants to marry. So,
I don't blame him.
It looks good, especially in
exactly.
It does look good in 4K, like HDR, because it's a futuristic city and all that kind of stuff, and the colors it looks real good. But the movie is garbage. I mean, it is. Oh boy, it was bad. It was bad. So, Savage, you got anything you want to add, brother? I know you just got off work.
No, I can't think of anything right now. No.
Oh. Yeah. Well, anybody over there in the chat got a question for the Pope and the Cardinal over here?
we're here to bless you guys. So ask the question.
Well, like I said, I'm not blessing the loot crate. I do bless expansions of games that enhance the overall game. So the skins, with Mass Effect, I bought every skin on that game. So when people would come over and watch me play that game, they're like, well, why do your characters look different? I'm like, because I got all these skins. I can, Edie has 4 outfits. Miranda in Mass Effect 2 had 4 outfits. And people are like, well, she only had on, the basic outfits, the 2 outfits that she had, I'm like, no, she had a 3rd outfit, but you had to buy it. So I understood, but that's not a loot crate. So did I watch the Ghost in the Shell anime? No, I did not. My problem with Ghost in the Shell, again, is as nice looking as Scarlett Johansson is, she got a part meant for an Asian woman.
Yeah.
They got to start. They can't just do this, and expect people to go spend money on it.
Craig, you know what? It reminds me of those Egyptian and those African movies of Egypt and all in that area, and all they do is have basically hire a bunch of white people and they spray tan them, and it's like, why didn't you just hire people from that area? I'm pretty sure there's a ton of actors. You don't have to have Gerard.
Are you talking
Butler.
about Egyptians and gods?
Yeah, you don't have to hire Gerard Butler, a Scotsman. To freaking play somebody from Egypt, like that, it makes no sense.
Egypt or something like that.
And again, that's why the movie bombed, because people want authentic. They tell when you're pulling the wolves over their eyes, just like the Ghost in the Shell. It's an Asian character, and you're getting a Jewish lady to play an Asian character. It just doesn't. The base. You got to realize this thing started as anime. It's not going to translate well. I hate to say it. It's just not going to translate well.
Yeah, and it did not like that. Yeah.
And because for 2 reasons. For one, people who are fans of the series, they know you can't pull any wolves over their eyes. Hollywood can't do it. You can't trick somebody into being somebody. That's like this new Tomb Raider lady. No one's going to see that, because we spent freaking 20 years when they made the last Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. She is Lara Croft. We want Angelina Jolie. We don't want some like, nothing against the lady, but it's like, we don't want that. You got us used to this one character, and you got to find somebody better. You got to.
Well, let me ask you this. And shout out, people were like, well, now wait just a minute. All right, now there's asking you, Kratos, can you compare the Xbox One X? Let me start with this, gaming media. Now, listen very closely. I'll do this real quick. Kratos can break it down, definitely on the specs. But the Xbox One X is going to do a little bit more than the Pro. That's it. And it should. It's more powerful. Just like the Pro does a little bit more than the PS4, the one that came out in 2013. And it should. It's more powerful. So, but Kratos can break down the specs and everything as far as a straight line comparison on what we can expect I guess down the road or something like that. So go ahead, Kratos. Go ahead and it was for gaming media. He asked.
Well, let me tell you this, okay? This is not my words, and I'm gonna give you guys the link because I don't want you guys to think I'm lying. Okay, an executive from Microsoft today, and I'm gonna post this in the chat. I want you guys to go here, and I want you to read it because I want you to see that I'm not just fanboying it. But Albert Pinello, I just posted the link in the chat. You guys can read it for yourself. Basically, the Pro and the X are pretty much equal. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Microsoft took a different method, according to Albert Pinello. They took one way of getting the same result in reaching true 4K, whatever that term means to you or to whoever. And then Sony, with the legendary, genius, Mark Cerny, took another route. Instead of going raw performance, he did the trickery with software and upscaling and RPM and all of these technical wizardry that he's implemented inside the Pro to allow it to equate to the same thing. So they took two different paths to equal the same thing. Now, raw performance, the X has it. They have raw performance. But anyone to tell you raw performance does not necessarily mean that every game is going to run. We've seen that with Rise of the Tomb Raider. On the X, now, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a 2-year-old game. It runs in 4K, but that thing dips down into 21 frames. We've seen that. That's not me. Digital Foundry did the thing. That's them. So, again, Sony decided to go a different route to get to 4K. Microsoft took a raw performance route. They said, look, we'll basically overclock the CPU a little bit. We'll give it a beefier GPU, a 6 teraflops GPU. We'll give it a little bit more RAM because we want to do this. We want to do that. We want to add a little bit more textures. The guys at Sony decide, you know what? This is a mid-gen. We don't really want to make it too powerful because we have our, future iteration of a console coming out. This here is here to last 2 or 3 years, a couple of years or whatever, until we get to the next stepstone, which is the full-blown PS5. They took two different paths, but their result is the same exact thing. And Albert Pinello said he commends Sony for what they did on how they got to where they got with the way that they did. He said, I give them a lot of credit. And this is Microsoft's Albert Pinello. Again, read the article. He said that they had, two different ways of doing things, but they both got to this end result the same. So it doesn't really matter. If you're an Xbox guy, go and get the X. If you're a Sony guy, stick with your Pro. I don't think there's anybody who has a PlayStation 4 Pro who's going to get rid of their Pro and go get an X because they're going to end up in the same situation minus the exclusives.
Facts. I mean, my whole thing on shout out to Ryan Landis. He said the X is so powerful, it ain't got no games. Look, they'll have more games, I think, announced for it next E3. That's what I would bank on. It's just with me. I'm going to wait to see those games. I mean, when they come out and they say Xbox exclusive, like they didn't do with that Age of Empires which, you already got them bitching about that or saying that, well, that's a real RTS.
Yeah.
This is like, well, it's not. And you're right, but so was XCOM, and XCOM was pretty damn beast,
so was Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, so was Halo War. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's
again, I think Craig, it rubbed people the wrong way that Microsoft spent a lot of time talking about a game that the Xbox guys are not going to get at all. So yes, it rubbed them the wrong way. They're like, hold up, you're asking us to spend $500 on the console and haven't shown us any games, and yet you're over here pitching and bargaining new games to PC guys. What the hell is up with that? And that's a valid question.
Yeah, they said that. Yeah, I agree with you. And especially Kratos, you just talking about the going back what you said about that Lara Croft movie. Yeah, I don't. And that's Alicia Vikander, and that she was in Ex Machina.
Yes,
she's the main star in Ex Machina, and she's also that's the girl who is dating Michael Fassbender, the aforementioned Michael Fassbender. So, but and she's a good actress. It's just this may not be the right vehicle for her. And yeah, you're right. Laura Croft has a little more of a she's got a build to her, and Alicia is not going to be able to bring that type of sexuality. So that's why I said I would like to see a video game with that girl Quiet from Metal Gear 5. She's just she's a very intriguing character. How she used photosynthesis, so she constantly had to do water-based things and be in the sun and things like that.
She couldn't wear she couldn't wear those any clothes to cover up because when you thought it was cool. When you took her out on missions and she was sniping people, how she would just kind of hum. I thought that was original. That was one of the most original characters, so I'm like, yeah, that's a cool character. So, but Thomas Hand, shout out to him. So he remember when Laura Croft had pointy boobs. So yeah, I remember that too, so that's back in the day, the Tomb Raider. So yeah, I remember that. So Laura Croft, but hopefully the movie does well. I don't think it will, but it just because it's a bad. I'm going to tell you this, Craig, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, man. This game is going to bomb, and I'm telling you why. It's going to bomb because the gamers are the one who brought this Lara Croft character to life. The gamers. This was a video game adoption. This was not something that Hollywood made into a movie, and then eventually they made a game off of it. You see what I'm saying? This thing came as a video game way back in the day. I remember I was in high school when this game came out, and I was playing it when that original Tomb Raider came out, and I was playing it on the PC. So I'll tell you guys now, this movie is gonna bomb. If you don't satisfy the gamers when it comes to that, who else is gonna go see that movie?
That first preview, that first whatever they showed trailer, it did look like something out of the video game, but overall, I don't disagree. But yeah, what Kratos put in there, what Xbox is really talking about is how Sony pretty much, for the most part, let me make this clear, not all the way, but for the most part, they're getting a lot of the same effects on games Xbox is getting, and they got it for cheaper. And they're not using as much power. Now they're using all kind of tricks. Not here to say that they're not doing that, but they are just using it because it's like, well, 1 out of 5 consumers in the United States has a 4K TV. Yeah. Whereas in Microsoft, I think they're looking at it like a bit. And again, we're going to get more 4K TV sales here in the next 10 weeks than in history. They're anticipating that. With that said, however, you're still going to be a minority of people. So Sony is waiting, I think, for it to get to to at least 25 to 30%. They want to be at 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4. So, DJ Spartan Guy saying that he can't hear or see anything. I don't know what's wrong with your computer, then, bro. Everything here is good. So. So he says he's going to unsub if it doesn't get fixed. That problem's on your end. So, yes, I ate a 4K taco last night. For everybody who doesn't know, I still ate my 4K taco. So, but
I'll tell you what, Craig probably don't win a Xbox X, but he may win some diabetes if he keep eating those 4K tacos.
By golly, and the Doritos and all that stuff. So like somebody's got to have something to eat when you're watching your movies on your Xbox X. So, but yeah, I mean, pretty much, it's Chloe from Lost Legacy has a big booty. Yeah, you all need to get out more. So I mean, are the women over sexualized in a lot of the video games? Yeah, that's what's kind of refreshing with Life is Strange, because those girls are just bony sticks. That's what they are. I mean, they are just sticks, But again, I recommend that as Pope of Xbox, everybody at some point, go play Life is Strange and play. I know Savage said he's going to get Life is Strange 2 before the storm. But, I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, pretty much after this Life is Strange. I may just jump right into Life is Strange 2, but I'll go ahead and do that. So, Yeah, Aloy, that's my girl. Yeah, I like that little Aloy. She was fun to play, fun to control. Yo, is anybody going to get that DLC? And that's just DLC. That's not a loot crate. The Frozen Wilds DLC.
Yeah, already got it pre-ordered. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, Craig. I'm on the fence. Eventually, I'll get it, but I'm not gonna lie, bro. There's too many games coming out, and I've kind of already gotten past the. I can't be stuck. I feel like there's somebody grabbing me by my shirt trying to hold me back, but there's all of these games in front of me that I have on the pipeline. So it's really hard. This year's been really hard, as a PlayStation gamer, because there's just too many games. Stuff is falling by the wayside. I'm not able to get this and that, or I forgot about it because 10 other games dropped that week. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to feel back in the day, the more I remember going, coming home and like, man, what am I going to play? And I got all these games. Now I realize I can only play one at a time. So so I'm just going to play one till I beat it, then I'll go get the next one. So, but Frozen Wilds, yeah, I'm on the fence with that one. It just I'll probably be playing Assassin's Creed, and it's because I've played and beaten every Assassin's Creed. I even got a PS Now and played the Assassin's Creed when I guess it came out in 2014 or 2013. He was the Irish guy. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was Assassin's Creed
Unity?
something. No, it was the other one. Came out opposite
Syndicate?
of Unity. No, that was after. This came out right when Unity came out, though.
Oh, you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. It's like the expand, not an expansion, but it's like a one-off.
It was on PS3 and maybe 360 only.
Yeah, I have it.
It was.
I forgot. They made a short, quick game. It wasn't really a big mega release.
Yeah, I'll find it. Hold on.
Yeah, he was Irish or something, and they actually thought it was better than Unity. People are like, well, they should bring this game to the PS4 and Xbox One. Rogue, yeah, somebody, yeah. Shout out to the 502, the villain, Assassin's Creed Rogue, yeah. I actually went back with PS Now and I beat Rogue. Just like I just beat Freedom Cry. I just beat that from Black Flag. That was free on the PlayStation. Yeah, so I beat this. So I've beaten every Assassin's Creed that I can get my hands on. So I will be
played Rogue yet.
Yeah, it's good. It was better than Unity, I thought. I know they went back in and fixed Unity. I know they did that. So, but Rogue was actually really, really good. I think your character at the end of Rogue meets the assassin from
the Unity
Assassin's Creed 3 or something like that. It was weird how they connected it. It was weird. So
I picked it up at the same time I picked up Unity. I haven't played it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, if you get into it, it is real good. Oh, J-Dub, shout out Ryan Landis wants to know, are there any VR games coming up that you're possibly looking at?
Yes, sir. Zone of the Enders. And definitely the Sokum type game called what is that game? It's not
Team
Sokum.
Bravo?
Team Bravo, yeah. I'm looking for that. Obviously I'm waiting for I'm gonna try out the Gran Turismo VR. That is a big plus, guys. If you have VR, again, I think the PlayStation VR is on sale right now for $299. It includes everything. So I doubt it's gonna get any cheaper than that anytime soon. So guys, that's a great price. Go get it. I can tell you this. I will tell you this. Once you go VR, it's hard to get that experience on a standard TV. Once you go VR, it is extremely hard to get that experience from anywhere else. I race with Project Cars, Assetto Corsa, obviously Gran Turismo coming up, and Project Cars 2 with my Oculus on my PC in VR. When I go back to playing Project Cars 2 and Assetto Corsa on my PS4, not in VR, it's just, man, it goes down a whole notch. It's like you just can't You can't look over and see the other car on the side of you and see what corner is coming up, seeing the depth. It's just the way it is. You have to experience it for yourself. I can't tell you about it, but I'll tell you guys, I got Farpoint, the shooter. It comes with the gun and everything. Yeah, you have to experience that. You're going to start sweating. It's real life, realistic. It takes you out of your real life element and it puts you in the game. It's something you have to experience.
Yeah, and I did see your stream. I think you were playing Project Cars 2 with Oculus on.
Yes,
that did look pretty cool because it was smooth. I thought it would be kind of a little bit clunky, but even you were moving your head and looking ahead at the track, and that, you know,
that's what I was trying to do. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do, so you guys could get the depth perception of what I'm looking at. So you can see I'm turning my head, I'm looking over next to the car trying to pass me on the side, so you guys can get that same view. But obviously, it's like I'm real life. I'm strapped into my, my racing cockpit, and I got my steering wheel, my pedals, I got my shifter, I got the whole nine, and I'm literally racing. And it was just a test video to see how it would look to you guys while I was racing. So now that I know it looks pretty good, I can go and start doing some racing and stuff on the weekend, and so you guys can basically ride along with me.
Yeah. Now Stephen King asked about EVR, but let me tell everybody this. Yeah, I've gotten 5 texts or DMs from people on the PlayStation about the Eve that just came out. It's like 4K. They said it looks phenomenal. And yeah, I'll be getting on that too. It's just it's in a long line of stuff that I'm behind on. I mean, I'm behind on a lot of stuff. I'm behind on Nier Automata. I'm behind on Neo, which is going to PC, by the way. And Poor JTech TV had to take down all his videos and said Neo was never going to PC. So, he had to, that's what I say, never say never. Persona, I think Persona is safe. But everything else on Sony, as far as like JRPGs, they want those games to go over to PC. So they want to get into that market. So, yeah, now that Sony, Corey Massey's saying he's got that 900E for gaming. You want the OLED for movie watching. I mean,
I'll tell you this to Corey Massey. I'll tell you this, man. Once you go LED, there's no going back. And I'll tell you guys this, don't buy into this whole perception where you got lag, you got this on this and that. Don't buy into that stuff. Here's the thing, okay? Modern TVs take for account all that stuff. When they talk about refresh rates and they talk about all that stuff, they're talking about computer monitors, guys. They're talking about computers that are hooked up to high refresh rate monitors because you're running freaking 150 frames playing Doom. That's what they're talking about. It does not copy over to a consumer television. So just stop it. The console, if you're playing on console, especially, you are not going to experience any of the lag or any stuff like that. It's not. It's made to compensate for any of that stuff. So buy your PlayStation, buy your Xbox, buy your really nice TV. If you got the cash, get your OLED. If not, get your nice LCD, and just enjoy it. But I see a lot of guys putting out false information because it's really tailored towards the PC, and they copy that over to the console, and it's like, no, stop it. That's not the way that goes. So when Microsoft talk about the X being able to do the VRR, the variable refresh rate, well, that's not for a TV. That's if you decide to hook your X up to a high-end 4K monitor and you're playing, you want to play games at these really high refresh rates and have this ultra fast response. That's for that. That is not for a consumer TV. So I just want to clear up the air so some of you guys, have been misinformed by some people who, kind of just mix and they muddy the water. And it's like, guys, buy your PlayStation, buy your Xbox, buy your nice TV and have fun. Don't worry about any of those specs because none of that stuff matters to you. You don't have a 1080 Ti. You don't have a Radeon, Pro Duo. You don't have any of that stuff that is able to run 200 frames in 4K 60. You don't have any of that. So
yeah, and shout out to go ahead, Savage. Go ahead, bro.
I just wanted to ask Kratos, do you know if the GT Sport demo supports VR right now?
I haven't tried VR. Again, I downloaded the game.
You just try
this weekend. when I woke up this morning before I went to work, I raced a couple of laps. I streamed just to test it out, test and see what was going on. Then I had to head for work, and then I came in from work, and now I'm on the podcast. So now I'm finna grind, get in there, and do my thing. I'm gonna hook my racing rig up to the PlayStation 4 Pro to do some laps and get it all configured properly, and then I'm gonna grind out on it. So I'll definitely let you guys know, and I'll try to stream it as well if they unlock the VR portion of it.
Yeah, I'll just hook up my VR, check it out. I was just curious if you knew.
Yeah, how you talking? Now, let me break this down. Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta has been extended. It's been, you should see my hands. I look like Donald Trump. It's been extended, people, I think to the 11th of this month. They're trying to catch on to, I assume the trailer is out now. May have hit, I haven't gotten a tweet yet, but somebody's supposed to be keeping me abreast of it. But, and also, I'll just go ahead and say this now, and it may not be true, but I've got a source that says that Shadow of Mordor is going to be checkerboarded on the on Xbox as well. It may not be true. So you may want to go ahead and pick it up tonight, Kratos, in a few hours and just start playing.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you'll wait.
Yeah,
that's cool.
To tell you the truth, guys, Craig and I have been saying this for a long time. If you have been gaming on the Xbox, the OG Xbox and the S for the last, 4 years, 3-4 years, the X is going to look like a godsend to you. It's going to look really good.
Yeah, it looks clean.
But here's the thing. If you have been playing on the Pro or the OG PS4, you're going to be underwhelmed because those systems have already experienced the Uncharted, the Horizons, and all of the high fidelity games that pushes the quality that much more. So when you play the X, you're going to be like, I've been playing in 4K. It's nothing different between my Pro and the X. And that's true. But if you've been playing on the X, in most of on the OG Xbox, and those games have been generally 720p and 792p and struggling to hit, 900p most of the times. If you've been playing like that, then yes, playing the X is going to look like a really large leap. And it is. So yes, go and get the X because it's for you. But if you have a Pro or the PlayStation Slim, you're going to be less whelmed. You're going to be less impressed. And I'm just being honest. Now this is coming from me. I have a high-end rig. I race in VR. I'm at 4K 60 all the time on everything. So I'm not impressed, mostly at all. VR really impresses me with some of the effects and stuff like that. But I will tell you guys this. When I bought my Pro, I did notice that the gap between the PC and the consoles have closed tremendously, where in a lot of games, I don't mind getting on the console because I'm not missing that much. I am not missing that much. I am not a give me 60 frames or give me that type of guy. Because I spent the last 36 years of my life, playing sub 1080, sub 30 frames per second. I think the original PlayStation, we were lucky to hit 15, 20 frames per second. Yeah. In most games. And that was fine for us. We literally only this generation started with the whole frames per second wars. All other stuff prior to that has always been 30 frames. Some of it's 20 frames. It's just, Craig, do you remember Road Rash? Do you remember the game Road Rash back in the day on Sega Genesis? Well, that game was a 15 frames per second game. 15 frames per second. And yet that game back then to us, it was fast. You were on your motorcycle, you hit people with a chain or a billy club. We enjoyed it. But now, as the gap between the PC and the console start merging, now the console guys are like, they're becoming sticklers about frames and stuff. And it's like, look, you only spent $200 on your console. What you want this, $2,000 performance out of $200? Like, get real. Come on. This is why the X is compromised. This is why the Pro is compromised. We need to keep the consoles in its own lane and keep the PC in its own lane because it's never going to be apples to apples.
Yeah, and I love what I listened to, the Gaming Couch yesterday when I got home, and I love when Dark Cloud, shout out to him, I'll paraphrase him. Look, if you guys that are over here complaining about frames and 4K, he's right. You all better be gaming everything. Everything better be on PC for you guys, okay? Because the console is a compromise. You're basically saying, you know what? I don't want to have to go get a new hard drive, go get whatever, new graphics card, CPU. I want the console. So I just think the Xbox community, you guys got to quit chasing the 4K ghost, because already, what was that Radeon chip that just came out that was like 11.5 T-flops, and it was comparable to like a 1070 or 1080 Ti or something like that. It's AMD, it's I was saving this for the PC podcast, but AMD, you're not going to pay as much. You're sacrificing the performance for price. That's your compromise. You're going to get some performance dips, and not horrible, but NVIDIA, they seem to be pretty on top of that stuff. But you're going to pay for it. Yeah, you're going to pay for it. So hard to build for. Yeah, it is. My PC is very difficult to build, so especially when you have something called life going on. I just can't stop.
I just replied to him, Craig, saying, basically just buy an Alienware computer from Best Buy for about $1,200 and enjoy it. It comes with a 1080. That's enough to give you 4K and with variable frames and stuff. Just enjoy it. I think we spend more time focused on specs than we do just gaming. And this is coming from a PC gamer. One thing about it is when I'm not on my PC, I'm on my console, and I'm not worried about the nuts and bolts of it. I buy a console because I enjoy it. It's where my friends are, and it's just like my Switch. I enjoy the hell out of my Switch. Every time I play it, there's a smile on my face. It's only 720p. A lot of the games are 60 frames, but a lot of them are 30. And guess what? I don't care. When I play on the Switch, I do not think about specs.
Yeah,
and that's this is how we need to get out of this mindset about specs and power. If there's anything that I learned from this E3, Sony showed that it's not about the power. It's about the artistry. It's about the craft, the developmentship of the software. They have the talent. Look what they did with God of War, arguably one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen in my life, and that thing was running on the OG PlayStation 4. It was running on the Slim, the vanilla.
Yeah. So was that.
It wasn't even running on the Pro. So that tells you they're able to give you games that's running on a 4-year-old console where you can pick up for about $200 these days, and you can get it, and you can still get the high fidelity graphics and the badass stories and the badass everything else. You don't have to go out and spend $500. You don't have to literally go out and spend $399 on a Pro. Just stick with what you have.
Yeah. That my Pro is fine. It's just right now it's in dormant mode because I'm playing Life is Strange, and I'm still playing Forza 3 or Horizon 3, and so I'm trying to gain more on the Xbox as the Pope of it. I mean, I broke out Elite Dangerous the other day on the Xbox, and Star Trek Online. I've just been playing with some people on that. So and that's all fun, but yeah, I mean, 2 weeks is coming to an end. I mean, once I go on the headset and start playing Hellblade and stuff like that, it's Assassin's Creed and blah blah blah. So it's just gonna be. I'll be busy on that and still trying to put everything else together. But anybody else got anything to add? Any more questions or anything? So I have all these people on Twitter complaining, and then nobody wants to come into the podcast and take on their pontiff right now. So I mean,
or the Cardinal. They didn't want to get into this whole.
Or the Cardinal. They didn't want to. People run their mouth, but when it's time to go to church, they mysteriously they get sick. They didn't
want to get none of this holy water on them. Hey, shout out to the comment section. I mean, you guys have been great, man, with the questions and stuff like that. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe, hit that bell. I like some of these questions that I'm seeing, man. Y'all asking some really good questions.
Yeah, Corey Massey, shout out to him. He says Switch is the answer to the power argument. You're right. Because if according to some people, it was not going to be selling. That's why me and Jay are the Pope and the Cardinal, because that's a lie. I mean, they were just not telling you the truth, you know. So it's exactly. You know, if they were being 100% with you all,
yeah,
then they would at the minimum come out and say I was wrong about the Switch. At the minimum they would say it, but they're not going to, because their narrative is the only reason why the PlayStation outsold the Xbox is because of power. That's it. That's they're still riding that too.
Craig, it's easy for them. It's easier for the Xbox guys to cope with saying and acknowledging that it's about power now that they're getting a powerful console on paper wise. It's easier for them to admit that. But for the last 4 years, remember, power didn't matter. You can't tell the difference between 720p and 1080p. You know, and stuff like that we've heard for the last 4 years. And now all of a sudden, or Inspector Gadgets. It's like now they can really tell the difference between 1800p and 2160p and checkerboard and native and all. It's like, get out of here. If you couldn't tell the difference between 720p and 1080p, how are you going to tell the difference between millions and millions and millions of more pixels? That makes no sense.
Well, my whole thing on that is that well, I mean, they're just being, I'll never say somebody's lying. I'll just say they're being intellectually dishonest because they're pushing a narrative. I mean, it is what it is. So at Halo Storm, you're wrong. You saying that PlayStation didn't outsell Xbox in 2014. It did. I mean, overall, that's when they really increased their lead. And in 2015, they decimated them with
wait, Craig, I gotta cut you off. I'm sorry. I'm stepping out of line. You're gonna have to excommunicate me later. But from the day that the PlayStation 4 launched, it has outsold the Xbox One from day one. There has never been a time that it has led at any point. So what the hell is Halo Storm talking about?
Well, I mean, all right, the first month, I think, was November of 13. I do think Xbox did outsell them, but I think after that, I think starting in January, that's when Sony really started to they really started to get out ahead of them, because people were like, they were surprised Sony was outselling them because the PlayStation was back ordered. Like, you couldn't find one, and they could not. The Xbox still could not move a whole lot of as many units. So unfortunately, look, Halo Storm, you are right. As soon as they took the Kinect out, I think that did happen in 2014. I think that was October, I think. They took the Kinect out. They had the Assassin's Creed bundle. They did win that. I remember that.
Okay. So you're talking about NPD months. You're not talking about sales, right?
Yeah, I'm just talking about overall sales. He's
yes. Microsoft.
Let me go back up.
I'm doing my homework right now. I'm researching. I don't ever remember Xbox One being at a point where it has led in total sales. It has never led. Now, yes, Xbox has won a couple of NPD months from here or there, but starting from off the gate, the total sales numbers have always favored PlayStation. And that's because PlayStation launched in many more countries and many more territories than the Xbox One. So if you see what I'm saying? If you want to count the US, then okay, count the US. You may, obviously they started off, I think Xbox One, the first NPD month, and maybe Xbox maybe, and vice versa, something like that. But starting from day one, PlayStation has never looked back. Total numbers, they have always dominated.
Well, I mean, I did read your comment wrong, Halo Storm. I'll admit to that. But as soon as the Xbox One dropped to $350, I mean, I think that was October of 14. They dropped the price because it was $399. it was $399 because that's the first price drop they got. Then it came down to like $349.99 with a game, with the Assassin's Creed. Because remember, they had the marketing deal for Assassin's Creed Unity. And once that happened, they won that MPD month. They won it. I mean, it was because that's the infamous shout out to Tim Dog. Remember, he's the one that they got caught waiting, recording people, allegedly. At Best Buy, allegedly, because I mean, I didn't physically see him do it. I saw
the tapes. I think everybody saw the tape.
Okay, you saw the tapes. Okay. So I was really on YouTube. So, but it was sometime that I think that happened in 2014. But yeah, you're right. I did misread your comment, Halo Storm. But yeah, remember that. So you're saying because of price, he says PlayStation didn't outsell Xbox in 2014 because of price, because X1 was $350 after Kinect was taken out. No, it was $350. It was $399 after Kinect was taken out.
Wait. Let's correct it again. The Xbox One launched at $499.
Yeah.
So about 6 months later, they took the Kinect out and they slashed the price by $100. That led to $399.
Correct.
From there, another 6 months later, still didn't pick up Steam, and they cut the price by $50 and then started including the games. And then it picked up Steam.
Yeah, I remember that.
They cut it. It slowed down. Then they cut it again by another $50. Included damn near TVs, cars, credit cards, everything. They just threw the whole kitchen sink in there, and it picked up steam really well. But Xbox has never won more than 2 MPDs in a row. So, in the US, you can give them a couple of months, but other than that, I mean, do you really want to nitpick a couple of months versus the whole overall number?
Yeah. Well, I just think that I mean, look, I can tell you now as a consumer, when I went to go buy a PlayStation, you couldn't find them. And this is in 2014. Yeah. And I just remember a friend of mine, he was just the manager at GameStop. He's been promoted since then. But he's the one that said Infamous Second Son is coming out in like 6 more weeks. So they will have more on shelf because that game is coming out. It's 1080p. They're pushing 1080p. They got to have that. When that game comes out, they got to have consoles ready. And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. They were just waiting on the fail rate to report back to FCC. But and then I remember walking into GameStop and that big sign said, "It's here, PlayStation 4." So, rest is history. But I just think it outsold them, Halo Storm, because everybody knew Sony was going to come out with a Gran Turismo, a God of War. They knew those games were coming.
In the works, yeah.
But they knew there was going to be a Final Fantasy. They knew there was going to be a Metal Gear. Remember, Metal Gear launched on both PlayStation and the same day, like the very same day they came out. So, but yeah, okay, I mean, go ahead. Now go ahead, Great Toast. Yeah.
Gaming Media, he asked a question. He said, Jay, who will win next with the next generation console? Well, it's already determined. I mean, what you see now is the benchmark and is the standard. I don't think there's, and I'm just going to be honest, I don't think there's anything Microsoft can do and are willing to do to get back in contention and get back into competition and try to win the next generation race. I think the next generation race will be between Sony and Nintendo. And I'm going to throw this out there. We may see Sony, Nintendo, and PC competing with each other. And I'm just going to say that because the power that the PS5 will have will be equivalent to a lot of current PCs right now. I mean, again, we're talking about the PS5 launching in maybe 2019, 2020. So that would be enough time frame for them to have the latest CPU, the latest GPU. I can see the PS5 launching at $499, and I'm going to tell you why. I do believe the PS4 was going to have a price tag of $499. It was going to match the Xbox One. But I think they had the opportunity to take the camera out and they knew that they had the software library to make up their revenue losses from that end. And I think they chose right. They launched a little bit cheaper, and it paid off for them. But without the Xbox One launching, the Xbox 2 launching at the same time, there is no way in the world that they won't launch at a tad bit higher price than the Pro. The Pro will become the base mainstream console, and they'll probably cut the price to $249 by the time they'll phase out the original or the slim PlayStation 4, and they're going to make the Pro the baseline model, and then they're going to release the PlayStation 5. And that console, for what it's going to be at that time, I think people will be comfortable with paying $499.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, I think yeah, and I think Sony's just going to target more of the frame rates. I think as far as graphics, Microsoft will what Microsoft did, putting that 480 or 580 pretty much in there, doing the 4K textures, that is going to more likely be the standard. I think the one thing Sony can do, improve their online, whatever, is to just have a bigger CPU so that they can get, if the developers choose, get a lot of their games to 60. And I mean, not all, because they won't all target that, because they may be able to do 4K high textures 30. I mean, nobody's got a problem with that. But I mean, if you can play games in 60 FPS, and that's what people are complaining about. But make no mistake about it, you will be paying for it. I mean, you were looking at minimum $599 for something of that. Yeah. And at that point, I think most people will just move on to PC. So
here's my last thought on that, Craig. My last thought before I shut up. Console gamers are going to have to choose. Okay, you're always going to have this 60 versus 30 frames per second, because they can do so much more with 30 frames than they can with 60 frames. Also, a lot of the single player story driven games, think about it. When you go to the movies and you watch a movie, those movies are shot in 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
They're shot at 24 frames per second because that's a movie quality thing, and they give you that cinema experience. Now, obviously, on a console game, they don't want to skip out on those extra 6 frames because of clipping and because of other few things. But 30 frames is a story narrative. Look at a game like The Order.
Yeah.
That game is beautiful. That game, they put the letter bars there, they chopped it. They wanted you to have a movie experience, and it looked just like a movie. They did that on purpose. Sure, they could have took some of the detail away. They could have took a lot of stuff, a lot of effects and all that stuff away, and they could have made it full screen and gave you 60 frames per second. But that is not what the developers wanted for that game. It wasn't a hardware limitation. You have to let the developers do what they want to do and how they want to design the game. You can't say, hey, you developers, you have to hit 60 frames on every game. You could probably play The Order in 60 frames and probably not even like it, because it'll have a different look and a different feel about it. And only those who know about cinema and photography will understand what I mean when I say that.
Yeah, and I'll say this in closing. I do remember the something Digital Foundry said about The Witcher, the upgrade. They literally said in the first part of that article about you can't really tell with the naked eye that it's not a native build. Is that good of a build? They said it's the equivalent of what, and again, I played it. Let me make that clear, because I've beaten Witcher 3 or 4 times. So for the draw to go back and start playing for 100 plus hours, it's not there. Not with all these new bangers about to come out in the next 60 days. But I will get to it eventually. I know that pissed off everybody when I said I'm a cancel Cuphead and play 4K Witcher right now or something like that. And people got mad as hell, But yeah, if you have them literally saying that there's not that huge of a difference, that I don't know why they're complaining. To me, they're bitching about nothing. You have a brand new console coming out in 27 days, give or take, and you're bitching. I mean, why are they bitching? It's a brand new console. Just be excited about your console and just don't talk about Laura Croft's hair no more. I mean, I can't take it no more. So it doesn't matter who it is. It's it's some suspect shit when you got grown ass men talking about a woman's hair.
Exactly.
So, you know, and I'm not here to say it doesn't look. I mean, it looks good. I'm not here to say it doesn't, but the game's 2 years old. Like Savage Sugar has said before, you all didn't buy that game 2 years ago. You're not gonna go buy it now. You know, so I mean, as a bottom line, Crystal Dynamics report they came out with in 27. Well, I don't know if it was maybe 2016, 2017. They said something about if it hadn't been for the Sony sales of Tomb Raider, that they would probably be out of business. Yeah. Their sales kept them alive, you know. So we know who buys them, who don't buy them. So you got another one. Gaming Media is saying, Jay, do you think PS5 will play 8K?
No, and I'm going to tell you why, guys. Let's all this 8K stuff. Let's forget about it. It will never come to the consumer market. I'm going to tell you why. Even in the future, it's never going to come to the consumer market. Only for one, it was designed in Japan. It's made for like the Olympics. It's made to show the quality of what they can do with the upscaling of the panels. It's only for companies and productions and stuff like that to host Olympics and special events. It's a prototype. It's not a standard. It's not anything like that. Until broadcast media, that means your news, your movies, and all that stuff streaming over the air, not just with the internet, but over air, over the regular antennas and your cable TV service. Until they have 4K content standard, we won't be going to 8K. And that won't happen until the 4K market has reached a saturation of about 60 to 75% of the market households. So that won't happen for another probably 5 years. There's still people who are content with 1080p. Some people can't, you know, they say, hey, I just bought my 1080p TV. You know, most people really upgrade TVs every 10 years. That's the average household. Every 10 years, think about that. Us as gamers and PC guys, yes, we upgrade to the latest technology and stuff like that all the time, especially with iPhones. But this is a TV. Most people, they enjoy their big screen TV, and they don't go out and swap TVs every year like they do phones. So no, we will not have 8K for maybe another 8 to 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because the grid, the US grid is at 60. So I mean, they're not. So that's a reality. Until they get to 100, that's why those 240 hertz TVs they got rid of. You have to now special order them. Those have to be a special order TVs, and they're still expensive. But you're that's why when shout out to Cycle Gamer when he said he did not see he couldn't tell anything on his TV. I'm like, well, if you're refreshing 240 times a second, okay, you may not get as big a drop, but if you were at 60 or 120, you were going to get some screen tearing. So that's a reality. Now, did it correct itself? Yes. Was it, did you see it at night on what games? No, you didn't. But in the daytime, you would see screen tearing. But guys, if there are no more questions or anything, Savage, or anything you want to add, we can get on up out of here. We've been going for a little over 2 hours. So.
Nah, that's it for me.
Yeah. I mean, Savage, anything you want to add? I see you over here in the chat. Okay.
No.
He's still patrolling the chat. So I see that. So, well, hell, we'll get on up out of here then. I'll go ahead and sign yourself on out, Savage. Just what's been going on, and just give yourself a big shout out there.
Thanks a lot for having me on here.
No problem. Yeah, it's open to anybody. So anybody wants to do it, just get in touch with me, and definitely it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. Like I said, I'm still doing my comic book podcast with I invited somebody on there. She knows more about comic books than me. So she kind of needs to be. Her name's Monica. Hopefully she's able to do it, but everybody's busy doing other stuff. So so look for those, and podcast that'll probably happen right before Halloween. I'm targeting the 24th of October. So look for that one. So Kratos, my brother, the Cardinal of Xbox. Go ahead and shout yourself out.
Hey everybody! Again, thanks for rocking out with me. It's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the God of PlayStation, and also newly appointed Cardinal of Xbox. Thank you guys for rocking out with us again, Craig. Again, thanks again for the invite, for having me on. It's great to be a regular on the show and getting some of my insight and getting some of your insight. Man, I'm gonna tell you, you have a top-notch community in the chat section. I mean, those guys, they interact with you, they have great feedback, and and they generally want to know what you think about this and that, and that is the best community to have. I mean, these are real gamers here. There's real concern there, and they give you great feedback, and I don't think you can buy that anywhere else, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate everybody being here. For a Monday night, a lot of you all showed up. I do appreciate it. We hadn't done one of these in a while, and shout out to everybody that came by today. Shout out to the people that subbed to my to the other channel and has been listening to the Sumerian read of the Sumerian tablets and things like that. We're getting through that. I'll do another one of those. I'll do another one of those tomorrow night. That, like I said, that'll be like 9:30 to like 10:30, 11 o'clock. So we'll get through that some more because it's actually being interesting now, so it's pretty cool. So, but thanks you guys for coming. I appreciate you all coming in and joining us and inviting us into you all's home and listen to us wherever we can be. So this is Craig Harris. We're going to be signing out here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Halo Storm, Corey Massey, and Jay for jumping in there. Appreciate it. J-Dog. J-Dog's been here since like the beginning. So he's been here since the beginning. So shout out to him for being here and sticking around, things like that. So yeah, this is Craig Harris, the Pope of Xbox. We're gonna get on up out of here with the newly appointed Cardinal sin, but it is a cardinal sin if you don't go buy your games. That is a cardinal sin.
That is a cardinal sin.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. So again, I'm blessing the game. Life is Strange. Everybody needs to go buy that on their Xbox. Do it now, and it's okay because the Pope told you to. Take it easy, guys, and remember, if you go out tonight, wear white. Peace out.